all of the people that we highlight in our country and our history are people who had the courage to change course. Leaders like Abraham Lincoln had the courage to change course. It is not now, we always honor people after they're dead. But in real-time speed, our heroes were not popular because they went against the course and they swam upstream against the grain, and they had to have courage to change the course. That's not easily done. Dr. King had to have courage to change the course. Nelson Mandela went to jail to change the course. You can get in trouble to change the course. Corrections can often have severe consequences. Corrections can often have severe consequences. Getting it right can have severe consequences. Because see, you make a decision at one stage in your life, and then later you know better, but you're already in the situation. I never will forget, I was teaching a Bible class one time, and I was doing Q&A right here at this church, and a young man said something to me I will never forget. He said, "I am the world's best at getting into situations and the world's worst at getting out." And I think the reason it becomes so difficult to get out is because sometimes it's become so complicated. It requires humility that some people lack the ability to quiet their ego enough to achieve the ability of change, because sometimes you have to go against what you said at this stage to correct where you are at that stage. And until you become strong enough to admit, yes, I said it, but I was wrong, you can't bring about change. And sometimes your ego will make you be loyal to a mistake. I'm wondering if there's anybody in here who's ever been loyal to a mistake, and it was a mistake, and you knew it was a mistake, but you counted up the cost to fix it, and you decided you would just take the easy way out and live with it. Our decisions, you see, to correct our mistakes can create disruption, and not only disruption for us, disruption for other people. And when you look at what it's going to take to straighten it out, sometimes you just don't do it. And when you don't do it, you become trapped in a nightmare of regret. You'd be surprised how long you can live in the prison of your problems. You'd be surprised how long you can live a life where you clap like you're free, you talk like you're free, you move like you're free, but you're really not free at all because you are trapped in a complicated situation. You can't get out and you can't get in, you're just stuck. And so you clap stuck, and you sing stuck, and you go to choir rehearsal stuck, and you go to work stuck, and you come home stuck, and you go to church stuck. And yes, you get your dance in every now and then, but you go back to a situation that's stuck because dancing doesn't bring about change. I don't care how much you praise the Lord, until you correct your past decisions, you are not going to get the breakthrough that you need. Until you stop using shopping for therapy, you're never going to have the credit rating that you should have. No matter how much he's Jehovah Jireh, he can't be Jehovah Jireh to you, because as fast as he pours it in, you leak it out. And God is too much of a businessman to keep investing in a bankrupt system. And you know what it takes to fix it, and you know the discipline that's required to get your life together, but it's not always true that people who know better do better. And not doing better simply leaves you stuck. People often lack the stomach for it, I think, to risk the pain of changing course, the uncertainty of what would life be like. outside of the bubble of my normal. I hate my normal, but I'm afraid of change. So I'd rather stick with the devil I know. Oh, y'all not gonna talk to me this morning. Have you ever grown up and rethought your choices? Have you ever got more information and rethought your choices? Have you ever looked back at your life in retrospect and found yourself in situations that were based on bad information, immature decisions, selfishness, emotionalism, pride, discontentment, and restlessness, and now you're more mature and you're wiser, and you wonder what you could have been had you started earlier on the right road? I wish maybe it's somebody that's streaming that needs what I'm talking about, and you lay down at night and live with the frustration, wonder what would have happened had I not got myself stuck. We're almost like the woman in the commercial, help, I've fallen. And I can't get up. I changed churches and I can't get up. I changed spouses and I can't get up. I changed jobs and I can't get up. I changed my major and I can't get up. I changed my hairstyle and I can't get up. I changed the way I dress and I can't get up. It doesn't matter what I got on. It doesn't matter what I look like. I cannot seem to get up. So you give up when you can't get up. And you decide to yourself, maybe I just have to make the best of a bad situation. I guess I'm really talking about making a decision to live with regret. And you'd be surprised how many people in this room are living with regret. That they could clean up, that they could fix it, they could change it, they could alter. But sometimes the dilemma is it easier to live with regret or live without it and cause the disruption that is necessary in my normal to see the growth that I long to see in my life? Are you hearing what I'm saying about it? Either way you go, have you ever been in a situation where either decision you made is going to cause pain? Where are my real people at? Have you ever been weighing the pain? You know, when I got ready to have back surgery, I wouldn't have had back surgery if I wasn't in pain. But I had to weigh the pain that I had before the surgery against the pain of having the surgery. And it took me a long time to make up my mind to have the surgery, because either way I went, it was going to be pain. And I had to decide, I ultimately decided that I would rather live with the pain of recovery The real truth of the matter is we get trapped. We get trapped. We get trapped in our relationships. We get trapped in our health. We get trapped in the argument, mask, no mask, vaccine, no vaccine. I heard this, I heard that, I heard the other. We get trapped until being trapped makes us sick. And somewhere with a respirator in our mouth, don't tell me, because we're the ones that buried people, so we know. We know, we talk to the families, we deal with the people who didn't have the courage to change course. In fact, you have to have the adaptability in life to be able to change course. It's not like you get it right and it stays the way you left it. Life keeps changing, and as life keeps changing and seasons keeps changing and circumstances keep changing, you got to be flexible enough to change on a dime and switch this way and turn back this way. And if you don't make the right switch at the right time, you find yourself stuck. And you wake up one morning and you realize, I'm getting older and I don't know what it feels like to have lived my best life. I've not lived my best life. I've not lived at the top of what my potential was. I've not reached the zenith of possibilities of what I could be. I've not fulfilled my purpose. I've not finished my course. I don't get any crown for me because I wasn't living my best life. I was surviving my old life. And rather than to be free, we peer through the bars of depression, watching others move forward. Well, we are stuck going in circles. In our text today, we step into the text that reads like a dream come true. A dream deferred and finally realized that Abraham in his old age would finally have a son. It is absolutely amazing. It's exciting, it's invigorating that this old man whose body was as good as dead and his wife with her wrinkled knees has got in the birth position and delivered him a baby at a season in her life that it was illogical. I don't know who I'm preaching to, but whoever I'm preaching to today, what is at stake in this message is that God wants to give you a blessing that doesn't even fit the season of life you're in. He's going to give you a blessing out of season. He's going to give you a blessing that's out of step. He's going to give you a blessing that's going to make people laugh when they hear it, because nobody's going to believe that a person like you could be in a position. In fact, some of you right now are in a position that would blow people's mind, because you haven't always been Elder Flip-Flop, and you haven't always been Deacon Wonderful, and you haven't always been Missionary Price. And if your old friends could see you now. We're talking about a finally moment here. We're talking about a finally moment. We're talking about a finally moment that happened to a man that's 100 years old. He has waited a long time. When you have waited a long time for a blessing, it will make you give God the praise. See, some of y'all get stuff too easy and you get it too quick. But after you suffered a while, when God comes through for you, it'll make you want to. I was doing some real estate business with some investors, and they asked me, do you have any skin in the game? What God wanted you, God's going to do the work, but he wants you to have some skin in the game. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying? Because when you got some skin in the game, you don't violate the covenant when things get tough, because you got some skin in the game. And God says, I'm going to do it for you, but I want you to have some. Y'all ain't going to talk to me. Yeah. Because you won't quit when you got some skin in the game. You won't just walk away easy when you got some skin in the game. When you don't have nothing invested, it's easy to walk away when there is no skin in the game. You see, Hagar was never Abraham's idea. It was Sarah's idea because she thought it wasn't going to happen. And when she thought it wasn't going to happen God's way, she said, I'll do it my way. Henceforth, Ishmael becomes a child of the flesh. How many things have been born in your house out of the flesh? Out of your unwillingness to wait, out of your impatience, out of your frustration. How many decisions did you make without God? And by the way, wouldn't you hate to live in this house? You got 2 women in this house. Yeah, I can stop right there. That's the end of it right there. I got 2 women in the house. They don't like each other. And I got 2 sons in the house. One is born of the flesh and one of them is born of the promise. And this just sounds like a mess. But Abraham lived with it because sometimes change creates such disruption. And Abraham is good at giving it. But now he's got to receive it. Oh, he's been circumcised in his body, but not in his relationships. And there is no way to get out of this without blood. This is going to hurt. And yet, in order to get his house together, he had to have the courage to change course. In fact, in all fairness, I have to give Sarah some credit. Sarah is making a correction because she is no longer the woman she was before. I want to talk to some people who are no longer the woman you were before. And yet you've got kids angry with you about what you did before. You've got spouses angry with you over what you did before. That ain't just for women. Let's talk to some men who have got some wives that are angry with you over what you did before. And the kids don't like you over who you were before. The problem is people never give people room to change, to grow, to evolve. And even though we are Christians, we are the world's best at alienating people over what they did before. And it takes courage to correct or to change course. Because if he changes course, what will become of Hagar? Where will Hagar go? Where has the ring of Isaac's flesh gone? Hagar is cast into the wilderness. And when God comes down, God does not talk like Sarah. See, sometimes, sisters, you can be right about what you said, but wrong about how you said it. You said, cast out the woman, the bondwoman and her son. God comes down and says, I know Ishmael is your seed. Understanding is important to bring about change. You can't just look at it from your perspective just because you don't have no skin in the game. Abraham has skin in the game. Ishmael is his son too. Ishmael is his son, but Ishmael is your mistake. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. I'm going somewhere. I'm going to get it back to you in a minute. Because everybody in here has an Ishmael. Everybody in here, male or female, has nothing to do with gender, has something that you were born to. Because you born with, that created a problem that you live with. Whether it's baby mama drama or whatever it is, or baby daddy drama, you went out with him. He a dog, you went out with a dog. You picked the dog, you liked the dog, you brought the dog home. You went to bed with the dog, you had a baby with the dog. Now, all you can see is he a dog. Well, what does that make you? I guess you're a dog lover. Because say if he raped you, see, until we take responsibility for the mistakes we made, we cannot change course. As long as you push it off and act like it was just them, and you tell the story where you were always the hero, this woman would have never been in Abraham's life. You brought the woman into his life. You came up with the strategy of them sleeping together. You told him to have a baby. You made this woman your slave and made her sleep with a man that she never picked to sleep with, and now it's all blown up in your face and you want to act like it's his fault. But what is amazing about the text is God comes down and says to Abraham, hearken unto the voice of your wife Sarai. Because the woman is right, even though she said it wrong. She is right. And what is happening here is correction. Now I'm almost finished. In order to have correction, you have to have the challenging responsibility of trusting God to handle our mistakes. God says to Abraham, leave Hagar to me. I know Ishmael is your son. I will make of him a great nation. But you can't take your mistake and your miracle and put them all in the same house and make it work. There has to come a cutting away. A cutting away. You can't change course if you can't cut. You can't change course if you can't cast out. And the challenge is to trust me with the collateral damage. Who am I preaching to? Trust me that I don't need you to take care of Ishmael. God says, my grace is sufficient for your mistakes. My grace is sufficient. You don't have to live in this chaos. Your spirit has been in a state of constant disruption because you won't change course. And I don't want you to live in this constant, chaotic, stressful environment of forlornment because your mistakes and your miracles are cohabitating in the same space. All I need from you is some courage to change course. If you don't change course, you're gonna mess up your destiny. If you don't change course, you're gonna mess up your future. If you don't change course, you're not gonna be in the place you need to be to become who I created you to be. If you don't change course, you're gonna spend the latter years miserable because you won't own up to your mistakes and acknowledge that you were wrong, and you won't fix it. And all the dancing and all the shouting and all the giving you do over top of it will not take away from the fact that you still need the courage to change.